I remember when the rumors were coming out the week of WWE Battleground 2015 that The Undertaker was going to make an appearance at Battleground. And in my mind, I had no clue what Undertaker would be showing up for. Was he just building towards WrestleMania 32? Was he going to be, featured in some sort of the match? And people were throwing out the fact that Undertaker was going to be involved in the Brock Lesnar versus Seth Rollins match. I thought, no way in the world they're going to be doing this. This is way too far out from WrestleMania 32 to start building towards Undertaker versus Brock Lesnar one more time for the WrestleMania streak. Undertaker trying to avenge his loss. And what do you know? Main event time. We're seeing Brock Lesnar kill Seth Rollins. The gong goes off. I knew it was going to happen, and I still was surprised. Undertaker appears. He hits the tombstone on Brock Lesnar. Brock Lesnar loses his shot of going after the World Heavyweight Championship, of course, because they're trying to keep Brock as strong as possible. The referee and Seth Rollins disappear. It ends up being all about Undertaker versus Brock Lesnar and their show-off. Undertaker shows up the next night on Monday Night Raw, challenging Brock Lesnar to a match at SummerSlam. The match that's too big for WrestleMania. It's being held at WWE SummerSlam 2015. Not the first time that I've made that mistake during today's show here. I'm trying to call this WrestleMania, but that is what they're really trying to get this down to. They're trying to make SummerSlam as big as WrestleMania, trying to have two big travel events for wrestling fans to go to. If they're able to turn, SummerSlam into a bigger event than it already is, hats off to them, because I'm all for it. Who's not going to want the biggest party of the summer to knock it out of the park? For years, SummerSlam has always been looked at as the number 2 pay-per-view. Some years, they don't really build the best undercard. But when you look at this, Undertaker versus Brock as the main event is really delivered. When they had their show off on Monday Night Raw with these two guys beating the hell out of each other, even with about 25 other superstars inside of the ring, trying to keep them from fighting. It basically made it the match that everyone in the world had to see, and they weren't going to wait to see it. But it's finally here. Undertaker came out during Monday Night Raw, kicked Brock Lesnar right in the balls, gave him the tombstone yet once again. What are they building towards? Are they just trying to have a big match for SummerSlam, just trying to kick this number up, trying to get some more network subscribers? It's the biggest match that they could think of. I don't know why you're not doing Cena versus Undertaker. It's one of the matches that people have wanted to see for years. I've wanted to see it at WrestleMania, trying to have Cena in the streak, but they never gave it to us, and it looks like we're never going to see that match unless you go back and watch the 2002 match, which Cena wasn't even Cena at that point. Of course, he was wrestling as John Cena, but he wasn't the megastar that he is today. So, I'm not sure. I mean, when you look at the drawing board, you got to think of what they're trying to get towards. Some people think that Brock is going to beat Taker. That way it sets up the WrestleMania 32 match. I don't know, man. Taker loses 2 matches. He loses WrestleMania 30. He loses SummerSlam 2015. And now he shows up again in January. And he starts asking Brock Lesnar for one more match. I'm looking at like Shawn Michaels and Undertaker. I think that maybe you ask for one more match, but no way in the world you get 2 out of this. You have to have some sort of a finish. You have Bray Wyatt emerge from hell, coming in, and he costs the Undertaker the match. Somebody costs Brock the match, and Undertaker gets a cheap victory. He doesn't feel like it's he really earned it, so that way he challenges Brock to go at it one more time, because they're tied 1-1, even though he doesn't really feel like he really deserved it. He wants to beat him on his own. Hell, I mean, I will tell you the truth. I'm being 100% selfish. I want the WWE Hall of Fame to mean something. I can't really think of a lot of guys that could go in as the main eventer. I think it's too early for The Rock. He's still basically a part of the main roster. We're still thinking of him as wrestling at WrestleManias. I wouldn't mind seeing Undertaker lose the match and go into the Hall of Fame at WrestleMania 32 in Dallas. It's something that we've been looking forward to for a long time. A lot of people thought that WrestleMania 32 was going to be Undertaker's retirement match anyways. It doesn't really make sense for Undertaker to go into the Hall of Fame in Minneapolis or Orlando, wherever, WrestleMania 33 is going to take place, because we're still rumored about where it's going to take place, and I guess when they name 33, they're going to name 34 as well. That's the way they did 31 and 32, and they named Santa Clara and Dallas. But I've heard Boston, I've heard Detroit, I've heard various other ones. But how can Detroit be able to, bring in a Super Bowl, bring in WrestleMania, and not be able to fix that city up? It doesn't really make any sense why they're trying to bring in all these people. If they're bringing all this revenue into the city, why are they not pouring it back into the city? And people have seen the pictures of what Detroit is. It's still a big city in the United States, but this is the town that got torn apart by basically losing Ford, by losing all of the car plants that were there. Sad story. But why did we even start talking about that? We're talking about Undertaker versus Brock, baby. I don't know. I don't see any way in the world Taker wins this match. My money's on Brock. I think it's a lock. Undertaker's got the ups on Brock at Battleground. He got the ups on the go-home show to Monday Night Raw. I guess neither one got the victory when they were fighting inside of the ring. Brock yelled at Taker, "I'm going to kill you." Taker yelled, "I'm going to have, you're going to have to." It seems like, Undertaker is just a mortal man, just like me and you. It was funny when I was watching, I think it was The List the other day, and they were talking about Undertaker, coming out and wrestling as the biker Undertaker, big bad evil, whatever you want to call him. I always called him Biker Taker at that time. And, it sort of exposed, what you thought about Undertaker. Is this a real guy? Does he have a house? Does he go grocery shopping? What does this guy do in his real life? I think that's the way he is right now. When I look at him, I see Dirty Harry. I see an older Clint Eastwood. I see that guy from Gran Torino holding down the block, not letting, big bad Brock Lesnar run his yard. Undertaker's been that guy who's always deserved respect, and he might have to beat it into Brock. But I don't see Brock Lesnar winning this match against Taker. I don't think there's a way in the world that it's going to happen. So that's my views. That's my speculation on everything that's the SummerSlam 2015. Let me know what you guys think. Who's winning this main event? Who's winning the other matches? Get back to me at Stevie Breach on Twitter. Peace out, everybody.